All right, everybody, I'm Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, and I'm here today to review the book Jaws by Peter Benchley. The book came out in 1974. Look at the cover. Look at the cover. I mean, there's a great cover. We always review the covers, man. I love this cover, man. This is dynamite. This is great. This is exactly what needed to be on this cover to just make it pop off the shelf and just make you want to grab it. I mean, this thing, I read this book a long time ago and I just reread it, and I'm telling you, man, this thing is dope. Someone ought to make a movie out of this. That's how awesome it is. Someone should do a movie of Jaws because it is fucking great. It is a great thriller, a great horror novel. Just one of those monster, like a monster, it would be the perfect monster movie, almost like Jurassic Park. Oh, even if the guy that directed Jurassic Park could direct this, it would be phenomenal. Oh, this book, came out in 1974 and spent 44 weeks in the best number two spot in the New York Times book bestseller list. 44 weeks in the number two spot. Never made it to number one. Because at the top during the entire 44 weeks was a little book about rabbits named Watership Down. It kept the talking rabbits kept the killer shark in a number two spot for 44 straight weeks. Oh, people, what is this thing about? Well, the cover pretty much gives it away. About a shark that kills out of everybody. And here's the thing, it wreaks terror on in Long Island. There's beaches on Long Island. Maybe some of you are aware of that, and then people swim in the oceans and they hang out on the beaches and have fun. And this shark is eating the people that are in the ocean, right? And what is it about though? I mean, what are some of the themes when it came out? When it came out, a lot of the literary critics were like thinking, there's got to be a deeper meaning to this. It can't just be about a great white shark killing people. There's got to be a deeper meaning. So people were like ascribing these deeper meanings, like this is an allegory of Fidel Castro, and it's a treaty for communism and a treaty against capitalism. Because if in the story, that they don't want to shut down the beach because they know if they shut down the beach, they're going to lose money. Well, that's capitalist society, And so then it was also like an allegory of Watergate, of Nixon. Like this was an allegory of the whole Watergate scandal. Or no, it's more about the patriarchy and toxic masculinity and, male bonding. We don't need any male bonding anymore. We don't need that because these males, they go out to fight the shark, and that's just toxic and masculine, and we can't have that. Back in the day, the Eskimos, the native Alaskans used to go out in kayaks. One guy in a kayak with a harpoon and a rope, and he would kill a whale and drag it back to shore. He'd drag it back to his village. A whale in a kayak with a harpoon by himself. But that's toxic masculinity. Just like shark hunting would be. This is the type of nonsense that people were trying to, it can't just be about a killer shark. It's got to be about something much more deeper. Not only that, but when Peter Benchley wrote this, he couldn't come up with a name. He didn't know what to name the book. He's like, I don't know what to, he says, I think this is going to be a good book and it might be a hit for me, but I don't know what to name it. So some of the names that he came up with were Leviathan, Ravage, Fury, Man-Eater, Great White, Dark Water, The Grinning Fish, or just the fish, or Looming on the Edge of Gloom, Hunger, What Have We Done? The Strange Summer at the Beach. Or my favorite, or the one that I would have gone with is, hey, what's that noshing on my leg? What's that noshing on my leg? I would have just called it that. What's that noshing on my leg? Anyway, just like the movie, just like the movie, this book starts out with a great scene told from the shark's perspective and the victim's perspective. And oh my gosh, is it dripping with terror and gore. It's gory. This book is gory. This book is way more gory than the movie ever was. And you just get, I mean, stuff that they're talking about is the rhythm and vibrations of the ocean and the water and the sense. I mean, you'd get it from the shark's perspective where he's just like, there's a rhythm in the water. There's a vibration in the water. I sense the blood. And you just see this kind of like this alien creature. Because these things that are in the sea, man, they are more alien to us than, especially in 1974, there had not been a whole lot of studies on sharks at the time. Sharks were literally, we didn't know a whole hell of a lot about them back then. And so they were just terrifying aliens that lived under the water and would just come up and, what's that noshing on my leg? What's that noshing on my leg? You know, that's all we knew about it. It was just, you know, they bite your legs off and just, you know, stuff like that. And then they'd swim away. And that we didn't know anything. So it's like truly an alien. But now we've got Shark Week every week on you know, the TV. We didn't have that back then. I mean, this was a revolutionary monster killer monster movie thing book. If you know what I'm saying. Truly, truly alien creatures just coming out at us. That we don't understand. That they're just tougher than us. They're tougher. I do not think that I could fight. I think I could fight a German Shepherd to the death and maybe win the fight. I think if it was between me and a German Shepherd, and it was to the death, I mean, he'd fuck me up pretty good. But I think I could get it. I think I could win. Me against a great white shark to the death? Unless we're on land and I can just run away. But if we're in the ocean, I think I'm royally, you know, not to mention, I mean, this book has got mafia. Okay, so, yeah, this book has got mafia. It's got romance. A lot of the stuff that's in this book is not in the movie, you know. They took the mafia angle out. They took a lot of the romance out. They took a lot of the sex scenes out to be, I mean, it's full of a lot of that. And, the movie just kind of focused right down into the shark attacks with a little taste of the community didn't want to shut down the beach because they knew that was their entire, all their economics were for the whole year were tied into that summer beach season. And now, you know, when we get into this, we realize that that's actually kind of, the mob is kind of involved in that and different things like that. So there's a lot more pressure on these guys to not go kill this, to not shut down the beach, and and the more people die in this than die in the movie. But it's a great, great monster horror novel. One of the best. I mean, it's one of the best horror novels out there. Just plain and simple. It'll make you not want to go swimming. I don't like the ocean anyway. I mean, the first time I ever went to the Atlantic Ocean, I about vomited. I got a mouthful of that water and I was just like, I mean, it was it was in my beard. It was in my beard, and I'm like, oh God, oh my God. I thought I had just dipped myself into poison. It was so horrible. Now, the Pacific Ocean is a little different. It still sucks, but not like the Atlantic Ocean. But I don't like, what I'm saying is I don't like the oceans. I mean, I went jet skiing off the coast of Long Island, about and where this would have taken place, and I'm like, I would fall off the jet ski and I'd be waiting for that jet ski to circle back around, which I don't get. Jet skis, I don't get. When you fall off a jet ski, you could be going 100 miles an hour on a jet ski. You can fall off and you'd think that jet ski would just go, beep, 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 keep going, man, without you. But somehow it slows down and turns around. Mother Nature is a mad scientist, baby. I don't know how to explain even that. We've gotten off topic though. Jaws, man, this is a badass book. Jaws. And so, by the way, they settled on the perfect name, didn't we? I mean, we didn't even get to that. They settled on the perfect name, Jaws. After all the other dumb names they thought it should be, Jaws was the best. There's iconic. 10 out of 10, man. This book is dynamite. 10 out of 10. If you want to read a horror novel that's got blood, guts, and just will make you shiver all night long, just get this one, man.